We all live, baby. We all live. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
While we let this thing crank a minute, let me go ahead and save it. We're going to share it right now.
Let's go. Let's go.
Work hard, pray hard. Let's go. I gotta get you on this, bro.
Let's go. I'm feeling it.
50-50 on the wheel. What's going
Yeah.
on? We coming in. We coming in. We coming in.
Let's go. Let's go.
You can hate if you want. On to the next one. Come on. I got one more to go. We got one more to go. Hands to the heaven. All right, I just tagged you in it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Look to the left.
Let's go. Let's go.
Up a stump. Look, he even got his wife in this joint flowing. Look. Y'all already know. I got my young man Dion. This is your Thursday transformation, but really this is your next generation leaders podcast tonight. We're gonna start tuning this out. We gotta come in hard. We gotta come in hot. That's how we gotta come in.
That's it.
So tonight, we want to say what's up. Good evening, blessings to everybody. I know it's late. I'm super excited to have tonight a good friend of mine, the next generation leader, Dion, with me. You guys already know me. I am the founder of Right Way Leadership and Transformational Coaching. I am your man. I'm your motivator. I'm your inspirator. But most importantly, I am your transformator because I'm going to give you the tools, the resources that you need to get from where you're currently at to where you want to go. No strings attached, baby. So with tonight in this Next Generation Leader podcast and my man, Dion Payne Miller sitting next to me. Look, this is a young man that we got introduced. I want to say, I don't know. What do you think, Dion? 4 or 5 months ago, something like that.
That's right.
Right? He reached out to me. Dion is he just turned 18 years old. He is a senior. He lives in South Bend, Indiana. Everyone knows that I'm in love with South Bend just because my favorite football team lives there. But that's where he resides in. He's 18 years old. He's an up-and-coming entrepreneur. He's an up-and-coming community leader. He's an up-and-comer. Like this young man right here is about changing the directions and changing the projections of where the youth is going. And I'm super excited to have him. The whole reason behind this podcast is to bring dynamic young men and young women to this that really are in for it for the long haul. And at 18 years old, there's a long journey ahead. So with that, Dion, do you want anything to add? You want anything to people to know about you?
Man, you done said it all. I'm just so happy to be here, man, with you. I'm honored. You have done tremendous job, man. I followed your work, Ray, man. Like you said, you are the motivator and you are the inspirator, man, with no strings attached. So I'm just so happy, man, to be with you. And you are what you say. You do what you're going to do. And I'm just so happy to know you, man. So thanks for having me.
Hey, man, that's a blessing, dude. That's very humbling right there. I appreciate that, man. And I do it. And this is what this whole episode tonight is I want people to know how much good youth are out there that are really trying to make a huge impact. And my job as a coach, my job as a mentor is to serve at such a high level, not for myself, but so I can pave the way for young men like you and young women like Jocelyn I had a couple weeks ago. So I appreciate you taking the time out for being with an old man like me. and guys, just to let you know, right before we came on, I was called old. He did. Gracefully.
Yeah.
He hit me. He hit me with that. he hit me with that. So that was pretty funny. So I'm gonna go over here. We're gonna put in some comments. We got Sarah. Sarah's in the house.
What
My
up,
girl
Sarah?
Sarah. Look, I met Sarah just a couple weeks ago, man, and she's starting to feel better. Keep praise for hers. She had some surgery done. Queen Sadai's in the house.
Queen
We got
Sinai.
my brother Victor's in the house, and a good friend of
Awesome.
mine, Wesley, who I met about 6-8 weeks ago too, who's up in the West Virginia area. What's going on, Wesley? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. So tonight, you know, we're gonna go. I'm gonna talk a little bit and ask Dion about some of the things that he's got going on in his life, some of the things that he's working on right now, and then I want to ask him some questions because the whole purpose is because I really want people to see the thinking that goes behind young men and women. Like if I was put it this way, if I knew what I knew now when I was Dion's age, oh man, I might be president. Y'all might be voting for me on Tuesday.
Right.
So, hey, I'll take write-ins though. If you don't like who's running, y'all can write me in. They write Kanye's in, so you might as well write Ray in
From his
too.
mouth to your ears, y'all heard it here first. Vote for Raymond Wright.
Oh my goodness, man. So, anyways, we're gonna get started a little bit. So I want you guys to know that Dion is he is a senior in high school, so he'll be wrapping up high school this year, and we've talked quite a bit. So he's one of the young men that I do mentor with, and he's a phenomenal young man. The more that I get to know about him and the direction that he wants to go and the things that he wants to accomplish is incredible. So that's what we need to pave way for. So my fellow old people, if I don't even know what you call us at 40, or I don't even know. Are we Gen X? Are we Generation X? I don't even know what we are anymore. Anyways, I'm just gonna call myself a leader for the next generation, right? I'm a leader for the next generation leaders. Let's put it that way. But Dion is a speaker. He is a up and coming speaker. He loves the motivation field. He's also an inspirational speaker. And he loves the personal development field. He loves the leadership field. He loves the personal development field. We listen to a lot of the same guys. He's an advocate for the young men and women in his community in the state of Indiana. And really, at 18 years old, he's going to expand outside of that state. Let's put it that way. But one thing that I learned about Dion is we won't call professional, but professional table tennis player, correct?
Yeah, that's right, man. I played table tennis in Indiana.
So I called it ping pong and I was corrected. Hey, Jessica, how you doing this evening, Jessica? So I called it ping pong and I was corrected and it's called table tennis, guys.
Table tennis, man. You got to get it right. Put the T, the capital T, table tennis.
Oh my goodness. So I'm going to call it table tennis. But what's impressive is I asked him, was he any good? And the answer he gave me was,
I'm all right. I mean, I'm okay. I can do some things. I'd say that.
Look, that's not what he told me. He said he told me he's the best in the state of Indiana. So if any
my age range, yeah.
Look, if any of y'all want to challenge him, first you got to fly him in, right? So first you got to fly him in, and then you got to take that whooping because he says he can handle. And then, but the cool thing about table tennis is you coach. You told me you coach. Tell me a little bit about from going from playing it at 18 years old to now teaching. Who do you coach and how did you come about doing that?
Yeah. So I've been playing table tennis now for about 5 years, it's allowed me to travel, man, places that I've never been. I mean, I've been to Las Vegas, Kansas City, all over, like places from where I come from that I probably would never dreamed of going. I was there, and I got to the intermediate level, and at a respectable level. It's not super elite. but you're also a little bit more better than the average player. And I was offered the opportunity. Actually, one guy just from my club, he's an older guy. Actually, was 65. My first client was, I think he was like 65. He was in his 60s.
Ooh.
Like Chinese guy, Asian guy. I love him to death. Name is Barry Chan. He was like, man, I want you to coach me. You know, he was retired. And I said, oh yeah, man, for sure. My coach's son used to be his coach. He ended up taking a full-time coaching position in Texas. And he was like, man, I need a coach. And so from there, it's coaching him, and then my clientele just kind of went up from there, and it's kind of fluctuated since then, especially like with the COVID and stuff like that. But yeah, man, that's how it all went down.
That's awesome, man. See, you guys have no like. We live in such a world where you can really specialize and be great at whatever you choose. You know what I mean? And that's just that's just goes to show you. And at a young man, so obviously you started coaching before 18.
Right.
But that goes to show you that the coaching is in your blood. You know, willing to serve, teach, and lead is in your blood. So it doesn't surprise me. And I didn't know about the table tennis really until tonight.
Yeah.
So you just and it goes to show on that journey, you know, for those people, they're always looking for someone to serve. They're always looking for, because that truly is, you know. And another thing I wanted, so he is in the student government. He also is in the student government, which is something that I could have never done when I was in school. They wanted me to be in the outside of the school looking in, but he also does, what did you say? It's Faith in Indiana, right?
Yeah.
It's Faith in Indiana. So I want you to explain to them, you explained it to me, but I want you to explain to our guest and our friends what Faith in Indiana, because that's something I learned about you tonight too. And I mean, that's awesome, man. I just learned more and more about you. So tell everybody what Faith in Indiana is.
Yeah. So Faith in Indiana is an organization that my godfather, Andre Stoner, here in Indiana, is the community organizer of. And so basically what it is Faith in Indiana. It's a group of clergy members, a whole bunch of congregations, roughly maybe like 20 to 30 clergy, you know, pastors and leaders of the church coming together, not worried about belief systems, not worried about what you believe, but we all come together, white, black, yellow, blue, red, on a common ground, and really being an advocate for change. And so we meet with the mayor periodically and other public officials just to discuss policy change and reform within our community. One of the things that we've been pushing for, and I haven't been involved a whole lot in, but I look forward to, is de-escalation policies and training for our police force here in Indiana. So man, it's awesome. Like you said, Ray, I'm the youth man, and so I'm just kind of like looking at these older people going before me and just really learning from them. And I'm taking the crumbs off the table. You know, I'm like this. I'm like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm just learning. So it's been.
Well, the key is they're leaving you some crumbs. You know what I mean? And that's that. So I just want to. Sarai said that she's super good at ping pong, and I just don't know if I believe that. But we'll let that rest. But a good friend of mine, Corey. So Corey's on here. Corey, me and Corey's had a great conversation the first time we met. He's also an entrepreneur. And he does a lot in the community over here. But he says this young man is doing grown man stuff. Yeah, that's what he said, and that's absolutely. Hey, what's going on, Courtney? How you doing, brother Courtney? And then my girl Crystal, who I call Boss Lady, she was with me last week. We had great conversation last week. She's another up and coming leader. You know, of course, you're a lot younger than she is, but she's doing amazing things here in the community. And I always tell Crystal, she has no idea what even is on the horizon for her. She's going to do some amazing things that I've spoken to her life. So I hope she's ready for it. But, but Courtney says that you hit the nail on the head. You bring them all together. Unity is powerful. And that is so true. And it's not just about, it's about the youth. It's about the elders. It's about the black, it's about the white, it's about the ethnicities. All in when I say ethnicities, it's the Spanish culture,
Yeah.
it's the Asian culture, it's the Philippine
Right.
culture, it's the
Yeah.
Haitian culture, it's bringing everybody together, because I think there's a key word that I want to say is harmony, and
Mhm.
it's harmony. And
Yeah.
I think we all need to learn to live in harmony. And I like the way you say that. It's not about beliefs. It's about bringing the people together to live in harmony. Really, is what I hear you saying,
Yeah.
and that's
Absolutely.
powerful. That's powerful. And I think, oh my gosh, if you knew from the suburbs to the inner city churches, how what a different thought they have, what different ideas they have,
Yeah.
and they steer away from each other so
Yeah.
many times rather than coming together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's everybody's fighting over the same thing. You know what I mean? And it really doesn't have to be that, because as you know, Dion, we talked. God has faithfully given us each a gift, right? So if God has faithfully given us each a gift, then why worry about and try to constantly? Now, I am a competitor, right? I do want to kick your butt in table tennis, and I do want to, right? But when it
Right.
comes to like this right now, right? And I like the way you said that. The elders are bringing you along, right? Because that's really what it's all about, is you are going to be the change.
Yeah.
The young men and women of our era, like people of my age, regardless if they ever want to admit it or not, we have failed. We have failed up to this point. And we like to turn back and say, them damn millennials, they're lazy and they're this and they're that. And it's like, well, who do you think they learned from? Who do you think they were taught from? So I think at this time, it's thank you, Courtney. I appreciate it, brother. I love everything you do too, man. I got a couple people I'm adding to your group too, by the way. What's going on, brother King? And so it's I say, you know what? We failed, but it's my responsibility to gain back, to admit our failures,
Yeah.
and to help you guys at every area. And that's why I mentor you, and that's why, because I believe so much in what you're doing. But there's something else that you told me tonight that I really, really, really want the people to know about, because I think it's freaking incredible. And so when you told me this, I got excited, because I believe all schools need this. I believe every single school in America needs this, especially at the high school level, right? So you talked about brothers.
Yes.
You mentioned brothers to me, and I want you to explain to the people what brothers is, because
Yes.
this is powerful. This,
Yeah.
guys, if you got to listen to this, this is powerful, and this is something that I do believe that I think needs to happen across high schools across the world. So explain to the guests and our friends what brothers, what's behind brothers, how brothers came about, and what your part is in brothers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm one of the leaders in Brothers. I'm the co-president of Brothers, and basically it was established before I got to Adams. And what it was about a group of young men coming together, predominantly all black, but not only for black. Anybody could be a part of it, but it was established for African American young men. And what it was about trying to break down these stereotypical preconceived notions that we have about young men of color. And so what
Mm,
we do, man, is we have guest speakers come in and talk to us about different careers that they're in, about colleges. We go visit colleges, man. We do community work because we want to get to know our community a little bit better, and really just a positive group, positive. Sometimes, or a lot of times, and I mean, this is just the reality. Our young men of color have been so poorly represented, um, um,
amen.
and by people who only looked at the outside but never got to know who they were,
Yes.
really. And it's been amazing. Some of these dudes, man, I kind of grew up with from middle school all the way up to now. And so I'm just honored, man, just to serve them and to be with them. We have some fun, and yeah, Ray, I told you, man, I want you to be one of our guest speakers, man, because
Absolutely. Absolutely.
it's really all about improving each other, and we're a brotherhood. If you hurting, man, I'm hurting. And I was telling Ray that because it was kind of, it got so many black young men in it that some people kind of feel like, man, like I don't know if I should be a part of this because it don't fit me. But I actually encouraged them, some of the white dudes and some of the Hispanics and other races to join, because like that's what we need. We need diversity. We need culture, because that's what's going to add some riches to us. And so it's been amazing. And actually, some of them have, man, they've loved it. They they are truly brothers.
Absolutely, man.
Well,
That's
yeah.
so that man, I tell you, that's so amazing. That's so amazing. And if we could get that type
Radio
of
Mike staticking. Okay.
is it better?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why it does that. It only does it like when I'm doing with two people, but
Yeah.
that is definitely a program right there. I don't even want to call that a program. Like that is just that's something that I think all high schools need. That I don't even think high schools. That's something that every community should have, and it should be a mixture of people. And I love what you're doing, because you said that it setting the standards is because I'm not naive, and to see what goes on and see all the injustice that's happened over the last couple months, and for you to say we need to be out in front of this, as young black men, and we need to let people know who we are. Like
Right.
you look at us from the outside, like, and I like just the fact that people are judged because of their appearance or their skin color makes me sick to my stomach anyways, especially when some of the most phenomenal people that I've met don't look like me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't look like me. They don't have my skin color, right? So it's just it's so important what you're saying. So me, and we talked about this. Me as a white man, I said, dude, we'll do a Zoom call. Like I'll do a Zoom leadership training for you guys. Like I will give my time, because I believe the only thing to do is I'm not going to sit back. I'm not one to do the protest and all this stuff.
Right.
What I do is I show up.
Yeah.
I show up.
Yeah.
If I see there's a group of young cats that want to play football, I go show up and play
Right.
football with them,
Right.
even though I hurt for a week later. But what I want to do is I want to show up, and I want them to see me, that I'm not one that's just going to talk. I'm going to show up. I'm going to break bread with you. I'm going to mentor you. I'm going to coach you. I'm going to love you. And I want. And this is so important, the platform that I have here right now, because Jocelyn on a couple weeks ago talked about this, and she did some amazing things, in Hagerstown with the protest and all that stuff. So, man, just absolutely amazing, Dion. I absolutely love that, man, the Brothers program. And you already know, you already know the fact that when you need me, dude, I'll show up. So we all got that locked and loaded, brother.
No doubt. Yeah.
So now that we got we spent the first 20 minutes just really talking about some of the things that I just learned about you tonight, man.
Yeah.
So I'm absolutely I'm in awe at times when I hear somebody at such a young age who just see that there's a need, fills the need, and does what needs to be done, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's impressive, right? So you're finishing up high school. You're a senior in high school. You're finishing up high school. If I was to ask you, I wrote down some questions and we got off track. So I want to make sure I ask questions. What do you, so as you're building these communities and brothers and stuff like that, what do you see? Because we've talked about this, especially at 18, trying to find people who think like you, trying to find people who walk like you. Because a lot of people your age, they're not interested in doing big things. They're not interested in serving. They're not really, they're just trying to get through high school, do a little partying, and maybe figure out what they want to do in college. But your mind is so outside of there. So how do you get through a day-by-day basis trying to surround yourself with like-minded people? How do you occupy yourself, and how do you go about finding the right people to surround yourself with?
Man, Ray, that's a hard question. It
Dun
really,
dun dun.
right. I'll start here. Um, Les Brown, who was it? Yeah, Les Brown said it is lonely at the top, but you eat better.
Woo! Come on now.
And so
I
all I'm
felt
gonna say
that.
there, all I'm gonna say there is that I've had some. So you said, you know, all some students or my generation sometimes want to do is party, get by in high school, and things like that. I'm not totally opposed to that.
Yeah.
I like to have fun, man. I like to kick. I like to have but I just do it with integrity.
Mm,
And I live by that motto: work hard, play hard.
yeah.
And um, what I've learned. So me personally, I guess it's funny because when I talk to people like you and other people, they think I'm an extrovert because I'm social, I like to talk and things. But when it comes to friendships, I'm an introvert, and I think it's because I'm and I say this with all humility and grace. I'm a little bit more mature for my age, and that comes with having my own set of experiences and things like that. That kind of molded me into who I am today. And so I literally have maybe two or three really good dude who like do the things that I do, who about what I'm about, and we kick it and we have fun. But at the same time, we take care of business, and we
Mm.
know that we have an end goal in mind for our life, and we are trying to go somewhere. And so, are there times, man, where I feel like I'm a little bit different than everybody? I am, but instead of kind of like I used to oppose that and try to kind of shed that away. Now I embrace it, and the more and more I've embraced it and became more fully into who I am as a person, it's been phenomenal, and it actually attracts people to me who I never thought. I mean, I got some of the dudes who I would never thought running with me. I used to be a knucklehead back in middle school. I'm still real young and I'm still a knucklehead, but you know, and so I said a lot there, but just I think in conclusion, I think it's about trying to cultivate relationships that are going to improve me as a person and who I can just relate to. And it's not always easy because everybody different, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And I love what you said is you still like to have fun, but you do it with integrity. Whoo, that was a mouthful right there, bro. Like that's pretty impressive, man. Like to have fun, but I do it with integrity,
Yeah,
which
man.
tells me that you stay inside the boundaries. You don't cross the boundaries, which is
Right.
pretty important. You know what I mean? Because I could tell you what I was doing at 18.
You know, and look, here's the thing though. I don't even look at them as boundaries because it's who I am. You know what I'm saying? And so I am
What you're built
free,
on. You built
right?
yourself on that.
Exactly. So I'm free within myself. Man, I'm having fun. I'm kicking it, listening to whatever music I want to, just kicking it, being Dion to the fullest, being my 18-year-old self to the fullest. But I just got my little twist. I got my style. Just like everybody else got theirs. I got my little style. You know, that's what it is,
Uh-huh.
man.
Yep. You see old man Ray got his style too. It's a little bit different than some people, but you know what? It's my style. Stop
Yeah,
cramping my
man.
style.
That's right. That's right.
What's old Craig Mack song? I'm kicking new flavor in your ear. Come on now. That's how I roll right there.
Right. Right.
Sorry. All right, guys. That was just some brain farts on the side. But so really what we're talking about, right, is the topic every week is about changing the legacy for future generations.
Yeah.
So obviously, I believe that I'm going to serve the next generation, and Dion is the next generation. So when I say changing the legacy, right? When I say changing the legacy for future generations, there's a couple key words. It's change, it's legacy, it's future, it's generations. So almost every word in this sentence says something powerful. But when we put it all together and we're saying changing the legacy for future generations, what does a statement like that mean to you?
Changing the legacy for future generations. It means leaving this earth, this planet, a lot better and a lot more well equipped for the next generation. So
Mm,
basically, you know what? I'm gonna put it like this. I'm gonna give you an analogy. You, Ray, and what you've done a great job at doing in your racing over because you still got a long ways to go. But I think of it as passing the baton
mm.
in a track meeting, man. Once I
Come
do
on.
my round, it's your turn to go. And
Amen. Amen.
hopefully,
Amen.
some may fall short.
Come on.
But hopefully, while I'm running that race, I put you in a good position uh,
Yes.
uh,
Yes.
to take that challenge and take that baton, so that now you can finish it off and finish it off strong, and now
I
do
love
the
that.
same thing.
That's a fantastic analogy.
Yeah.
Because leadership isn't about serving oneself.
Mm,
Leadership is about serving, right? Whether it benefits you or not, is serving those that are coming behind you,
that's
right?
yeah.
It's serving other people's benefits before your own personal benefit. And that's where people screw up in the leadership field. We got too many people that are self-proclaimed leaders and can't lead themselves out of a paper bag. Now,
Right.
but they have a little bit of success. They've built maybe a little bit of a business. Maybe they've done some stuff in the community. Maybe. But the truth of the matter is over time, right? People only respect you because of the monetary or the material things, right? Because most people, they don't look towards the future to be great. They look towards the future to gain what they desire, right? And a lot of times our desires are materialistic or monetary, or, we want to be business owners, but there's no rhyme or reason behind it. We don't know how to set goals. We don't know how to have purpose. We don't know how to have a destiny that we're aiming for. So leadership is so Miles Monroe is one of my favorite of all time, right? So when I listen to Miles Monroe, and you use the baton analogy so perfectly, and I don't even know if you know who Miles Monroe is, right?
No,
But Miles Monroe says this: if you are a leader or an elder in your church and you've been doing it for 10 years too long, you're not a leader at all. Because leadership is success in leadership is having a successor coming behind you, right? Miles Monroe, I love what Miles Monroe says, because Miles Monroe says, you know what? If I don't have somebody coming behind me, then I'm stuck. How can I serve at a bigger level if I'm stuck where I'm at and I'm not bringing up the successor behind me? That's why he was able to write books and travel and speak to local governments in different countries and all that stuff, because he understood that as long as he was holding the baton himself, he could never do what God fully fulfilled for him to do. So he learned how to pass the baton early, right?
yeah.
So he created this huge church in the Caribbean. You know what I mean? And he handed it down to the next person, right? He always had somebody coming behind him. And I want to share this with you because this is a great principle that he taught me. So what Miles Monroe was talking about, Miles Monroe said this. He said he woke up in a pure sweat. He had this dream. He just was sweating his butt off. He said, and he looked up and he was in a funeral home. And he said he's seen that there was a casket and there was a picture on top of the casket and there was people that were up and they were crying at the casket. And he said he started to walk up to the casket. And as he approached the casket, he started getting just this cold sweat feeling. And as he looked into the casket, he looked at the picture, and it was a race. It was a runner, and it was big, strong man dressed in his relay outfit. And in the casket laid this man big shoulders, broad man. And this man laid there, and in his arms was crossed, and in one of his hands was the baton. And he said he woke up. He woke up in a cold sweat and trying to get resolve. And he was speaking to God, and God told him that most people on this earth will live their life, right? Will live their life, and they'll do everything they can to hold on to that baton. And they will die with that baton in their hand. And see, so the whole purpose of this next generation leaders is, this is a great analogy. I'm glad you used the baton, because this is perfect. Is the whole purpose is when I go, when you go, is that baton gets left to somebody else. But more people are too consumed with taking everything with them, right? And I believe it was Les Brown who said, when you die, everything that you do for yourself, you take with you. Everything that you do for others, you leave behind. That's some powerful stuff, right? And I didn't mean to get way sidetracked, but the baton analogy is so perfect when we start to talk about leadership. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Ray, man, that's so powerful, because if you study history and you study just successful people such as the Martin Luther King Jr.'s, the Mother Teresa's, the Bishop Tutus, the
Nelson
Mandela's, you can go on and on and on. The reason why you still hear about them is because they were not self-serving. They could care less about themselves. But the reason why they're so important, and they're still talked about today, is because they were so relentless and obsessed.
Ooh, say that again.
Relentless and obsessed. Not about themselves, but about the generation coming after them. And you started talking about having the baton, and it was something that just like popped in my mind. Is actually we enable the generation that's coming behind if we hold the baton for too long. And so, like you said, you got to know when to pass that baton. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, you actually enable and you cripple the generation that's coming later. And so, I just had to share that, man, because
I love that.
True. And you know what's so amazing? Is this, and I don't think people understand this until you really, really do it. And I'm still learning it too. And Ray, I think, Ray, you can relate to this. Is when you start making other people's lives better, and when you start adding value not only to yourself but to people, such as the Jeff Bezos and the Bill Gates. What did they do? They made something that everybody could enjoy and make their life easier. And what people miss is that when you do that, your life becomes more fruitful and gratifying. And instead of us having this selfish mentality, actually what happens is that we reap all the rewards. But see, we got it backwards. We live in a society where we want instant gratification, and that's the nature of our human species. But if we truly understand success, it is doing for others. What's the golden rule? Do unto others what you would have them do unto you. And so it's just powerful. Yeah.
That is powerful, man. I love that thinking. I mean, at 18 years old, to have that kind of mindset and to be able to see that, acknowledge it, understand it, and know what needs to be done is impressive. So, I mean, you really need to be proud of yourself for understanding that, because it took me till I was 36 years old to start to understand that. You know what I mean? And it's so true. I mean, nothing can be done by yourself alone. I always hate when people say I'm self-made. You ain't self nothing. Ain't no, you might have had an idea, but everybody needs somebody. Yeah. Everyone needs a team. Everyone needs their right hand. Everyone needs. Now, look, the one thing I can say is, and it's funny that you said that. Miles Monroe talked about a time when he met Nelson Mandela, right? And he said he got to shake Nelson Mandela's hand, and he said his hand was like a rock, Wow. And he just kind of looked at Nelson Mandela, And as they got to later, Nelson Mandela asked him, do you want to know why my hands are so hard? He said many times they came into prison and they wanted to cut a deal with him, and he would pick up a rock and he would just keep banging rocks and keep banging rocks and keep banging rocks and keep banging rocks till it made his hands almost as if they were rocks, because he understood that what he was doing wasn't about him. It was about his people. It was about setting people free, bringing freedom to his people. So it's so impressive, and that's what's so incredible, because you talked about Mother Teresa, with Mother Teresa, she was criticized.
Yeah.
She was criticized so much for what she did. You know what I mean? And she continued to do it anyways because it wasn't about her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Every great man, Martin Luther King Jr., I mean, he died because of the vision that he had, that all people shall live together. And here we are all these years later fighting the same cause. Why? Because we're selfish, we're arrogant, we're driven by ego and pride and all these things. And as you were talking about that brothers program, if we could just come together to see the inside of one another instead of the exterior, I think it would make so much of a difference. But that's why we got young men and young women like you and Jocelyn and so many others that are doing such fantastic things. So I appreciate that, man. I want to ask you another question. So at 18 years old, let me ask you this. What is your mindset?
Yeah.
What is your mindset when because at 18, you know what? It's like, you know what? I don't want to read that book. You know what? I don't want to do this. You know what? I don't want to do that. I'm 18.
Yeah.
What is your mindset when you face adversity?
Yeah.
Like, how do you overcome adversity at such a young age with these big dreams and these big goals and this mindset that you have?
Yeah. I can answer this in so many different ways.
It's your stage. Answer it however you want.
Yeah. I've been fortunate enough, and I can't explain it. I think it's just divine, and the way that I'm structured, and the way that I think, the way that I do things. The reason why I say that is because I used to look at my adversity as things to go away. I shared with you today, Ray, that quote where it said, "Do the things in life that are easy, and your life will be hard. But do the things that are hard, and your life will be easy."
Mm-hmm.
And Les Brown said that. And so now, when I face adversity, I get excited because it's an opportunity for me to grow. And I know, because it's so easy. Look, even me, and I can. A lot of my peers talk about this. Man, when we face pain, it hurts, and you a little bit of pain, you want to just get away from it. You want to, right?
Right.
But I've tried to train my mind to run toward the pain, because after that pain, as ET always says, going to be reward after that. And so many times people will try to gravitate away from it, but I go toward it. And I think the biggest thing, in response to your question, is opportunity. That's the word, opportunity. And if we start looking at our obstacles as opportunities, and not as a demotion, or as something that's going to kill us, that's when we can begin to get victory in our life.
Amen. Amen. So when you start to talk about so I just want to kind of feed off of your answer a little bit. So when you start to say you look at adversity through opportunities, what opportunities are you talking about? Like what are you looking for in those opportunities?
Looking for? I'm looking to grow. I'm looking to be better than I was. I'll give you an example. Man, so many. I'm messed up. I got so many issues, but
that's all right. I love it.
And all these problems that I have issues, there's an opportunity. So one issue, let's say, is consistency, right? I have a consistent, and I know that and procrastination, consistency and procrastination. And I know these two habits are two of the best habits that every successful person has in common. And so in these areas, instead of me looking at them like, oh man, I'm not going, like, I'm so tired of this, I actually try to run toward it. I run toward it, and I try to be, and I'm working on. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm working on being as consistent
Mhm.
as I can. And when I don't feel like doing something, I'm gonna make myself do it anyway, because hopefully, eventually, if I do it enough, it'll become automatic. Does it feel good in the moment? No, but I see the opportunity, because when opportunity, when you look at the opportunity, and when you get past the opportunity, growth. Opportunity equals growth, but you got to
Yep.
seize the opportunity.
Amen. Amen. Well put. Well put. Sarah said opportunities. Yes, amazing. Um, pain is for great things to come. And I always say this. I say, you know, your pain is supposed to push you into your God-given purpose, right?
Wow. Yes. Yeah.
So that's what I truly believe. In our podcast last night, me and Sadai, I kind of went on a tangent about superheroes, right? And I'll share that with people who didn't see last night. Like superheroes, if you look at Clark Kent, Clark Kent got into a fight in that bar, and he busted the guy up a little bit, and he felt guilty, like, I don't deserve these superpowers. So he escaped to the mountains and was trying to take his powers away. Remember?
Yeah.
If you look at Batman, Batman went through a phase where, he started to being labeled the bad guy because he was out of control. So, he tried to escape. If you look at Spider-Man, he retracted, and he didn't want to fight the bad guys
Right.
anymore because he felt like he was losing control.
Right.
So if you look at every single person, and I use superheroes because we are our own heroes in life, and we are opportunists, or we should be opportunists. But when you look at the pain that everyone goes through, every superhero had a tragedy in their life,
Mm.
right? Superman's parents were killed. Spider-Man's uncle got gunned down, right? Batman's parents got gunned down. If you look at every single one, even if you look at Thor,
Yeah.
his brother betrayed him and killed his father, so to say, right?
Mm.
So what pains have we gone through? What parent have we lost? What child have we lost? What through addiction, right? Through a sickness, through an illness. What addiction have we had to overcome? What poverty, the poverty and oppression that some of us grew up in, including myself. How do we overcome that when we don't even know how to think about money, when we weren't taught about money? It keeps us in a place of stagnicity. It keeps us in a place of brokenness, right? So that pain is exactly what leaders need
Wow.
to make the change for the next generation.
Wow.
Right. And I think it's so important. And that's why, that's exactly why I'm doing this, is to get your perspective, which is incredible at 18 years old, to be able to use and to be able to think, to put your thoughts in words into actuality, and know that you're not too young to be
Yeah.
a leader,
Yeah.
that you're not too young to change, that you're not too young to make a big, bold difference. Because the Bible talks about we got to go to the throne in boldness,
Yeah.
right?
That's right. Yeah.
So if I don't want to get to the end of my life and be like a chihuahua with my tail tucked between my legs,
Yeah.
and God look at me and be like, "Yo, bro, like, what were you doing? Like, you had it all at your fingertips."
Yeah.
And I don't want to be like, "Oh, I was a coward. I was lazy. I was
Yeah.
scared." Right? You talked about procrastination. You talk about consistency, right? That's why you seek for a mentor and a coach,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
because I can tell you, but it's not like that thing's just going to vanish. It's going to be something that you might have to fight for the rest of your life.
That's right.
But you can't become who you need to become
Yeah.
with obstacles,
Yeah.
right? But if you keep if these are your obstacles, then the opportunities need to be higher than the obstacles, because you always have your eye on the prize.
Right.
You know
I'll
what I
say
mean?
this. I'll say this. the greater my obstacle has been, the greater my opportunity has been as well.
Amen. Come on. Ooh, I lost you.
I cut out right there for me. Did you
That's
hear?
all right.
Yeah, no, yeah. So I said the greater my obstacle has been, the greater the obstacle has been, the greater my opportunity has been. And what I say is that, can you see me?
I got you, man. I see you all day long.
My camera. Okay. Anyway, you looking at a product, and my story. I say this with grace too. It matters, but my story doesn't matter to me. And what I mean by that is that I'm not allowing my story to have a victim mindset or a victimized mindset, right? And so you're looking at somebody who has been through hell and high water, right? But here I am sitting before great people like yourself because I did not allow that pain to destroy me. You got two options when you come against pain. You can either give into it or you can go through it.
Amen.
Most people give into it, and that's natural. And so I just think that that's just so important that we see the opportunity, man. Opportunity is great. It's great.
It is, and you said give into it or go through it. I got another one, because this is so when you give in, people will call you a quitter, and necessarily you're a quitter. Yeah. And it doesn't. I don't want to say it makes you a bad person, but then you don't have the right to complain the rest of your life because you gave up, right? You can go through it, which makes you a winner, an overcomer, right? But many people try to take the shortcut and go around it.
Yeah.
And what happens is that you can't call them a quitter, but you also can't call them an overcomer. Because when you go around the mountain and you take the easy way, as you said, there will be a point in your life where you're not going through that pain, not going through that process of breaking down that mountain, going through obstacles, that you'll get to a point in your life where you'll start to ask, what was it all worth? Because you didn't learn, because the pain is exactly what propels you to your purpose. So you got to go through it. So I tell everybody, right? It's funny because Corey, my brother Corey, just put that, and I remember we talked about that. Is Inky Johnson says commitment is staying true to what you said you would do long after the mood you said it in has left. And that's such a power. When I heard Inky Johnson say that, it blew my mind, because I said, how many times, including myself, when I first got involved in the industry, right? When I first got involved in network marketing, right? Is I would go to these seminars and I would be like, I'd get so fired up. Like you go to, you like if you went to see Tony Robbins or something, you're like, I'm going home. I'm going to conquer the world. I'm going to make my $1 million. I'm going to buy the mansion, buy the car. And then you get home and you're like, I'll do it tomorrow. Right. So it's we get up to this level of excitement. Like I'm getting all fired up right now, but we get up to this level of excitement and we're like, man, I'm going to take on the world. And then you wake up and you stub your toe and you're like, oh, my life sucks.
Yeah. Absolutely,
right. Man. It's the commitment. It's commitment is staying true to what you said you were going to do, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're sick, even when you're in the hospital, even when you get laid off, even when your wife leaves you, even when, like, it doesn't matter. You stay true to what you said you were going to do, even if it takes longer than other people that are running by you, because it's not about how fast you get there. It's about learning how to stay there once you get there.
That's it. That's powerful, man. That's powerful. You know, you said it yourself. So look, I'm 18, right? And my main focus is trying to reach my generation, right? And maybe inspiring some people a little bit older than me, you know.
You already are. Yeah. You already are.
Well, I appreciate it. But you said it to me too. I was beating myself up. Me and you was having this conversation, but I think you recall it. And you said, man, baby, you just beating yourself up. You said, man, you ain't even got no skin in the game. And it was so true. But what was so profound to me was that while other people are saying things like, man, you young, enjoy your life. What they not understanding is that I'm starting at a place where some of the older people, older than you, Ray, I'm not gonna use your age, older than you, wish that they would have started. Um, um, and so I have a huge advantage. And so here's the thing: I'm living my life, but I'm doing the work now so that I got the rest of my life to enjoy it.
You said it. But you said it when you had me put that quote, right? It's, and this is the other thing that goes right in line with that Les Brown saying, right? It's do the things that most people are unwilling to do so you could live the life that most people will never live, right? And it doesn't make them bad people. You love them anyways. It doesn't make them losers, even though many choose to lose, right? So Carter Younger, what's up, Carter? Like Carter Younger, you see the comments. I don't see if you see the comments. He just gave some muscles, man.
Yeah.
That's a young man right there. He's going to be a freshman in high school this year, man.
What up,
and,
man?
and I coached him on the football field, and just a great athlete, a great kid, great smile, you know, and just he ties into me every once in a while. I think he's just checking on old coach. But but I mean, there's so much potential in every single person that walks this earth, right? I really do believe that. This is the problem that we have, though. Many people don't know the potential they have because too many people will sit on their potential. So if you really understand what I'm saying, is all of us have potential, but some people need you to find your potential so you can build in them, teach them, love them. There are people in other countries that don't have what we have. They don't have the ability. They don't have the resources. They don't have nothing. They need those people who serve. They need those people who do and travel to the countries and build room and boards and churches and all this stuff. They need that. But how many people want to do that? How many people do you know, right, who want to serve, who want to do and go to Honduras and go to Bolivia and go to Jamaica and help the youth and help these things? But the reason they never do is because of fear. They procrastinate. I'll do it next year, right? And then what happens is they get sick or they end up dying, and they never did what they said they were going to do. And they took all that greatness that God had given them and they wasted it. Like, that's a fear of mine. That's a fear of mine.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste the gifts that God has given me, right? So he gave me a big mouth. I use it.
And use it well, man. Yeah.
Thank you. But that's why I feel like I'm obligated. I am obligated to serve the next generation leaders, which is the whole reason why I really did this, right? This is the whole reason why I did this, because there are people out here who are ready. You're ready, right? Yeah. And this is the key. You don't have to be great. You don't have to know everything to get started.
Right.
But you damn sure got to start in order to become great, in order to learn. And that is the important part. And that's what you're doing. You look, you know how many 16, 17, 18, 19-year-olds I tell them, I give them my phone number and I tell them to call me and I tell them to use me. I'll serve them. I'll help them. I'll coach them. I'll tell them everything they know, and they don't call me. And then I find out that maybe they got into a bad deal, you know. Maybe I find out, you know, a young kid that I used to coach, I found out that he got arrested for second-degree attempted murder. You know what I mean? Yeah. These kids, there's so many kids out here that we can use all the excuses we want, because I was one of those kids that did a lot of dirt and I got into a lot of trouble. But there's a lot of kids out here, right? You're 15, 16, you know right from wrong, right? And when you got good people in your life, right? And this is the one thing that because you're going to be able to, you're going to be able to reach younger cats than I'm going to be able to ever reach, right? Yeah. Because you can bond, you know the music they listen to, you know what they rock with, you know how they think, right? I'm a little bit older now. I'm still cool as heck, but you know, but the thing is they have people they can reach out to. Yeah. Right. But they allow the peer pressure and the presence of negative thinking completely consume their thoughts, as if there's nothing better for them, as if they can't get out of where they're at, as if they can't overcome where they're at. And that's why we need so many young men and young women such as yourself to really be taught by people my age, in Queen Sarai and Corey, in Crystal, and all those who have a desire to serve the next generation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's about us standing on the front line for you guys, so you guys can do the work that needs to be done.
That's powerful, man. You know, two real quick things I say is on this conversation is one thing I know about goal setting and success, and you've taught me this, Ray, and it's been amazing, and I'm finally starting to see the benefits. You mentioned fear, and I was listening to a video by Bob Proctor, and he all about the law of attraction, and he said we have these two things: we can either operate in fear that is unseen, or we can operate in faith that is unseen. Both of them are unseen forces, but most people tend to operate in the fear.
Yep.
Right.
Crazy.
And it is. It's fascinating. And what I found out, Ray, is that individuals who are hungry. I'm not talking about hungry. Like I just want me a chocolate chip cookie. I'm talking about
hungry. Hungry.
No matter what you don't have, the resources that you don't have, you're going to do what. If you're hungry enough, you're going to do whatever it takes to fuel yourself, to get you something to eat. I don't care what, you're going to do whatever it takes. And I just feel like too, as well, some people just ain't hungry enough. And I go for my generation and adults. We are just not hungry enough. And then secondly, this is what you taught me about. It was dominating and executing on your level.
Yep.
On your level. Not because when we look at these goals and these superficial goals that are high and big, it's all great, but it puts us in a mindset that, man, this is too high. But if I dominate, and you taught it so well to me, if I dominate on the level that I'm at, that's when I can graduate to that next level. And too often, many of us trying to operate and dominate on a level that we're not there yet.
We try to bypass the process, man.
Fall in love with the process.
We fall in love. It's you know, we have to, we can't fall in love with the results, but we have to marry the process. Right.
Yeah.
And that's, and you said it so right. We've had some great conversations, and there's going to be so many more that we do have, man. And, you know, the thing is never quit on a bad day. Never quit on a bad day, because, you know, we're all going to have bad days. We're all going to go through things that don't pan out the way we thought. Right. And I love what you just said. Bob Proctor is amazing. I listened to I'll have to send you something from back in the early 80s where Bob Proctor did a television show. It was pretty amazing. But Bob Proctor is pretty, there's so many great people, man. And that's the thing, is you're calling out names that most people never heard of.
Yeah.
Right. They're not interested in the self-development game. But if you're going to grow, then you got to develop your mind. Right. Too many people. I'm going to say this. We're going to be wrapping up in a minute. I appreciate everybody for sticking with us, man. This was a powerful conversation. Right. But too many people. I broke my train of thought. But so too many people, they follow their heart. They follow what feels good in their heart, and they allow their mind to saturate with negativity, right? They allow their mind to be a forgotten entity in their life. See, this is the key, right? Is you lead with your mind. You lead with your thoughts. You program your thoughts to the things that you want, to the life that you want to live, and you program your heart, because the Bible is very specific about the heart being the most deceitful and wicked of them all. Who could know it? Because the heart will have you doing things that you never wanted to do, right? How many times have you seen people chasing something because they say they love them? Their heart feels this way, their heart feels that way, and you know damn well in your mind that ain't gonna work. But for some reason, They ain't using their mind, right?
Right.
My heart. I tell them, you better be careful with that heart, because that heart will leave you empty every single time.
Right.
So one of the things that we got to teach people is man, everything starts with a thought. Whether it's a fear-based thought, whether if it's a faith-based thought, whether if it's a lustful thought, whether if it's an integrity thought, everything starts with a thought. And the thoughts that we put out into the atmosphere are the things that's going to come back to us, right? So we have to be careful the way we speak. We have to be careful how we speak to others. I'm not one of those karmas, but what I'm telling you right now, you do something on to someone, expect something to be done on to you. Maybe not in the same way, but trust me, the golden rule is the golden rule, that we say it for a reason, and it's done in all different type of races and religions, in all different types of ways. The golden rule is just worded a little bit differently, but it all means the same dang thing, right?
Yeah.
So I want to. This is the last thing I'm going to ask, right? Or this I'm going to make this quote, and I'm going to ask you one more question, and we're going to wrap it up, right? The most difficult project in this world is the reconstruction of the human mind, right? And if you think about that, we all are brought up with these specifics as leaders, right? As when we go back into the next generation leader, a leader needs to surround themselves. We're going to go back, right? A leader needs to surround themselves with the right people, or they will be doomed in mediocrity the rest of their life. You cannot, I always say it, I'm an eagle in the game. I don't flock with the birds. Right?
Coach.
You can't, right? You can't. You have to separate yourself. It doesn't mean that you leave them. It means that they can't rock with you until they understand that they're an eagle too. And some people will die a bird. They'll die a pigeon, right? But if we surround ourselves with those that are dying as birds, then our potential is never going to fully be developed, right? So I'm going to ask you this question, right? And you can answer it however you want, because you might not even fully know. So in these next 12 months, we dealt with this COVID thing. A lot of us are still making it through. We're surviving. What's the next 12 months plan for Dion?
You know what? I'm going to be relentless on improving Dion. I'm talking about really trying to get to know who I am, where I'm going, but really, really, really doing maintenance on Dion. Maintenance. And then lastly, well, before I say that, I'll say I'm navigating a few different things, and you know about it. But I say the next 12 months, man, look like this. My living full, living curious, living with passion.
Full, curious, and passion.
Yeah, we kind of breaking up there.
Can you hear me?
It's kind of hard.
We're breaking up really?
Choppy.
Hold on. Is it still choppy?
No, we're good now.
I don't know what this microphone. I guess it's telling me to shut it. But I like that, man. I would say this. We're gonna wrap it up, man. And yes, Corey, I just read the question from Corey, and Corey says, do you believe that most of the fear people have is the fear of failure? And I would say yes. People are terrified, not just the fear of failure, but the fear of the unknown. And the only thing that we know is nothing, really, honestly. It's the fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of what people are going to think. I think those are three of the top failures. So this was fantastic tonight, Dion. I appreciate it, man. This was a great conversation, dude. I think it was better than probably both of us expected.
Yeah.
It's great when I don't even really get to the questions. So you were saved. You were saved by that, man. But look, you're a powerful, powerful young man. We're gonna get off this live in about 30 seconds, and then I'll meet you in the back room. But just guys, you can follow Dion. What's your Facebook? What's your Facebook and Instagram?
Dion Payne Miller, Dion Payne Payne, and then hyphen and Miller Miller. And at Instagram same thing, or it might be D Payne Miller, DPayne Miller.
Okay. All right, cool. So if you guys want to get in touch with Dion and follow him, do that, man, because this great young man. And if you guys didn't notice, he's got a great teacher.
Goes to the pole.
Oh my gosh. Whew, I almost choked on myself. So anyways, guys, have a blessed night. Thank you for tuning in. I had a fantastic night. I think we have people who are saying Sarai said that's a great interview. Detrice.
Detrice. Yeah, that's my cousin. Hey, Durkee.
Did I say Detrice? Did I say it right?
It's Detrice.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in. Young Dion did a fantastic job tonight. I appreciate you turning in. Sarah, thank you. Corey, I appreciate it, brother. Mr. Nick Williams, thank you, brother. God bless you too. I appreciate you tuning in, man. I hope you guys got some value out of this. And the biggest thing is just I hope we understand that we got to go find these next warriors, these kings and these queens, man. And we gotta really support them, and we really gotta lead from the front, man. Because I do believe I'm gonna be one that tells you I don't care if it's Republican. I don't care if it's Democrat. I don't care about none of that stuff. What I care about is living the life that God called me to live and serving the people that God put in front of me and making a damn huge impact in the communities, in the states, in the country. And no president is going to do that for us. It's going to be us that makes that change. It's us to diversify. It's us to unify. And it's us to push this country forward in the right direction through love, through leadership, and through transforming one's mind into a growth mindset. So with that, guys, I absolutely love you. Have a blessed night. My brother Dion Payne Miller. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight, and I will talk at all of you guys on the next go. Deuces.